trust in the Lord, and do good, dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. This sentence contains 4 verbs, and all of them are in the imperative mood. Here, trust means to believe, to rely on, and to depend upon. That is, the people of God must live by believing, depending upon, and trusting in God. Believing that God exists, believing also in His guidance and sovereignty. In other words, instead of living by believing, depending upon, and trusting only in the visible things of this earth, the things that will perish, we must take the God who governs and reigns over this world and this whole universe according to His will as our God, and live while believing, depending upon, and trusting in that God. Also, do good here does not simply mean to live morally well, but to live in the fear of God, obeying the word of God. That is, the people of God must not live for their own corrupt and fallen desires and greed like the people of the world do, but must live setting all their values, goals, and desires upon God. Moreover, dwell here means to reside temporarily or to stay, referring to a brief stay. Thus, dwell in the land tells us that the people of God must live a life of a stranger and pilgrim on this earth. Here, pilgrim does not simply refer to a pitiful condition of wandering without a home, but it means we must live with a clear sense of purpose, knowing that our home, our true homeland, is in that eternal heaven. Just as a pilgrim does not immerse himself in the place where he stays for a short moment, but presses forward looking only at the final destination, we, the people of God, must not live according to the values of the world or the way the people of the world live, but must live looking toward and hoping for that eternal heaven. Also, a pilgrim must travel light. Because a baggage that is too heavy becomes a hardship and can bring pain. This is exactly the same for us, the people of God. Since excessive desires and greed can inadvertently become a heavy burden for the people of God, we must live a life of letting things flow, a life of laying things down, and a life of keeping ourselves empty, rather than stacking up as many things as possible. Indeed, when we live this life of letting go, laying down, and emptying out, we will not come to envy or fret over the prosperity of those unbelievers or things of that nature. Furthermore, His faithfulness here means truth, referring to the Word of God. That is, it tells us that the people of God must feed on the Word of God. While staying on this earth, the people of God must not follow the vain trends, values, or lifestyles of the world, but must take the Word of God alone as the food for their soul. Instead of following worldly trends or worldly values, saying, "What shall we eat, what shall we drink?" we must keep eating and eating the Word of God to maintain the satisfaction of our soul and the assurance of faith. Just as we die if we do not eat food, and just as we must continually eat food to maintain our body and physical life, we must continually eat and eat the Word of God to maintain this spiritual life. Otherwise, we might inadvertently die. We might grow distant from God, and furthermore, like those unbelievers, we might fall into that eternal lake of fire in hell. Therefore, just as I eat my 3 meals a day, I must always eat the Word of God, and eat it again, so that I may be filled with a firm faith in God and with that heaven.